Hey everybody, you're listening to Modern Era Fitness Podcast, where we talk about health and safety in the modern age. My name is Mike Walsh. I'm a personal trainer.
And I'm Caleb, a martial arts instructor.
So, Caleb.
Extraordinaire.
Extraordinary. I agree. This one time, when Caleb and I just started our facility, well, we've been talking before that about what we want to do and whatnot, and he knew that I was a personal trainer and kind of doing my own thing and renting space out of another personal trainer's facility. And he was a martial arts instructor, but he was working out of it was a church youth group room.
Yeah, like a little preschool room.
Yeah. And so we wanted to make something together. And so we talked a lot.
So we had a baby.
We had lots of, meetings, and one thing led to another.
And
we didn't know how it happened.
It's a junior situation.
Yeah.
He's the Schwarzenegger, I'm the DeVito.
I was gonna say I was hoping you were gonna say like Franco Columbo. You know who that is?
Johnny Depp Columbo?
No. Look, Google it. Franco Columbo. Franco. Anyway, so we started talking, and Caleb found out that I was a martial arts instructor in the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
And I could see the look in his eye. He's like, we have to measure these things. So we have to measure these two against each other. So one day, after opening up our facility and kind of getting it going, and we got the mats down and the equipment in and all kinds of stuff, he goes, hey, we should spar sometime. And I said, okay. Bad idea.
Whoa, Franco Columbo. Hello.
Yeah, he's
Columbo.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's buddy. They were lifting buddies.
Oh, yep, there they are together.
Yep.
Anyway, I think it was really good. Because you had a lot of tackle and subdue.
Close stuff.
Yeah, and that's what I need more of.
Uh-huh.
That's one of my motivations
for
doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's getting better at that ground stuff. Hopefully the fight ends before it goes to the ground.
Hopefully,
but you can never be sure. And
chances are,
if the fight goes on long enough, it's going to end up on the ground.
Yep.
So. My goal is to finish it before it becomes a fight.
And
then if it becomes a fight, hopefully finish it quickly. And then if it doesn't finish quickly, still be prepared.
Yes. So that's my story. It was
fun.
It was fun, but I knew right off the bat, like, I'm in over my head.
It's just different.
Well,
different.
if you and I were doing ground fighting or rolling or whatever, then I probably would have had the upper hand.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll test that later, maybe.
Yeah.
Grind on each other a little bit.
Sure.
Get our on. Jits.
Sounds good.
So today we're talking about sabotage, and not necessarily like treason sabotage, but more like personal sabotage and sabotaging your goals and your progress and what you're working for, whether that's martial arts or losing weight or getting in shape or getting stronger. Personal sabotage.
Yeah.
So what is it?
Sabotage.
Yeah. Why do we sabotage ourselves?
Dude, I don't know. I really don't know. I feel like it just happens. Maybe mostly it's out of ignorance.
You think so?
Just not knowing how to do the right thing.
I disagree.
I'm not saying it's the only reason. I'm saying it's a reason.
I disagree with you there too.
It is never a reason.
There's never a reason.
Yeah. But
you idiot.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Not knowing the right things to do.
Yeah. It could manifest in injuring yourself because you don't know the proper form for a lift or something like that. Or
I think it could be like getting yourself into a corner where you all of a sudden literally don't have time to work out.
You just made me think of a self-defense situation. One of the things we try to get people to realize is corners and exits. Staying out of corner, heading towards an exit. If you end up in a corner, you're SOL.
If you're in a corner and there's like a firing squad in front of you and you're blindfolded, and doesn't look good.
Yeah, I think you're pretty much done for. But
that was dark. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's a corner. Were you going somewhere with that?
Yeah. So looking ahead can prevent sabotage, I feel like. Because using that analogy, if you're not looking ahead and you just let people kind of charge you and take your space, they're going to get you into a corner, and then you don't have a way of getting out. So you essentially, by not being aware, have sabotaged potentially survival. I mean,
right. You got into a bad situation.
Yeah. I don't know how that applies to anything, but
how do people,
it makes sense, right?
I think it totally does. How do people sabotage their own progress with martial arts? Or is that possible?
Yeah, burnout. Burnout is probably the biggest one.
Yeah. Starting too fast.
Yeah, because people get excited in the beginning. They get excited when they sign up and start coming, and they love it, and they get the bug, and then they go hard for a year, and
then that's it.
And then that's it. Yeah, they either drop out because they finally exhausted themselves, and it stops being fun for them, and it becomes more work. And while I think it should be a balance of the two the whole time through, a balance of work and fun. Like, you should enjoy it.
Oh yeah, totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, life isn't
even
about
though
work.
It's hard.
Yeah,
but it should still be fun, I think.
Just like lifting.
Yep.
I think.
Yep. But burnout is, to me, that's the number one sabotage that people do when they're training in martial arts. Yeah. What about for you?
I think that people sabotage themselves.
Give me the top one that you see the most often, or come across the most often.
Well, I think the biggest cause of self-sabotage in personal training and physical fitness and whatnot is people either not having a plan or having a plan and then just changing it too often. And then they're just kind of bouncing around the board, or just not having a plan. And then they don't even realize they're burnt out, or they don't even realize where they're going. They're just like, I want to be healthier, and not having a clear plan with a clear endpoint and a system to get there.
Or having a clear endpoint, but tossing the map.
Yeah. So, not having a map, and then you're just gonna kind of going to the gym, and there's no system to keep you there.
Somehow find your way there.
Yeah, and
with your eyes
there's
closed.
no workout buddy saying like, "Hey man, where the hell are you at? I'm here. Where are you?" And rooting them on.
Yeah.
And just kind of like, I want to go to the gym and get healthy and stuff. And they go on January 1st, they go 5 days a week, and second week they go 5 days a week, and by month 2 they're going twice a week, and then skipping the next week, and then going twice a week, and then just not ever going again.
Yeah.
So that's the thing I see biggest, is not tying in that motivation that we talked about last week, or on another podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I feel like if you have a plan, like we've talked about before, the systems approach helps build the habit.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So essentially, if you don't have a plan in place, you're sabotaging yourself, because, like you said, you'll burn out. That's one option. The other option is you'll just fall back into the habits you had before, because you need structure in order to build the habits. I believe, if I remember correctly, I read that habits in the brain, like the pathways that form when you form a new habit, takes only about 2 to 3 weeks.
Yep.
But if you've had a habit that's been there your whole life, like you're creating a completely new way of living, you're going to have some sort of external anchor to that plan. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But eventually that will be the new habit. Like for me, it's working out and eating healthy. I would start to eat healthy, and then out of convenience and, opportunity around, I would eat garbage. And I would fall back into that, and I would get Jack in the Box all the time.
Uh-huh.
Oh man, those twin tacos.
Oh.
Or the sourdough Jack. I would get those all the time,
Oh yeah.
But it took real dedication, and in this case, my wife, to kind of help me not include that.
Yeah.
So over time, it became a habit to not eat that stuff. Or now my thought process is, think of what I'm doing to myself and how much it's ruining what I've been working for.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I don't, to use our catchphrase for today, don't want to sabotage my results. I feel like even though it doesn't really work out, you can work off X amount of calories that you ate. Like I can eat a big breakfast because I, jogged for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like that's not how it works.
Yeah.
You can't overindulge because you exercised today.
Yeah.
It's not how it works.
Unfortunately, that's how a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like, I exercised today. I can have my ice cream and watch.
I can't tell you how many times I've seen Kelly's run a few marathons, more than a few, and there are so many people that wear T-shirts that say "I run so I can eat" or "I'm running for beer" or and that's not how it works, folks.
Yeah.
I hate to be the harbinger of doom.
Is it harbinger or harbinger?
Depends on if you want to say it the right way or the wrong way.
No, I never use it and I read it, so I'm like, how do you say that?
Yeah, harbinger.
Harbinger.
Harvey Wallbinger.
I think people can sabotage themselves by having some underlying issues.
Not taking care of the root cause.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. And so I've seen it happen, not a lot, but a couple times where somebody makes a lot of progress, like way more than they thought they would. And then they just enjoy the progress for a little bit and then they just stop. Like stop. Like something in life happens or a schedule changes and all of a sudden they don't have the time and da.
Yeah.
And then just a couple months later they wonder, well, what happened?
And the terrible thing about it is it takes really a lot of dedication and a lot of time to improve and not very long to lose it.
Bingo.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like I could work out for a year and then if I go back into my old habits for a month or two,
you're going to lose a lot of that. Yeah.
It's gone, and I've got another year. And that should be motivation in itself to stay on the straight and narrow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It would just be so much easier if we could remember that. And that is a thought that comes into my head frequently is, if I ever feel like not exercising or not training, I think, okay, I don't want to take 4 steps back for this.
Yeah. Absolutely.
For the 100 steps. Wait, I don't want to take 100 steps back for the 4 steps I've taken.
Right.
Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense. You don't want to take 4 steps forward and 30 steps or 100 steps back.
Yeah.
Yeah. And unfortunately, a lot of people do that, especially when they go off how they feel. Like, I exercised today so I can have this.
Yeah.
These 2 hamburgers.
Yeah.
And then the next day they do the same thing. Yeah, I exercised, so now I can have a pizza for dinner. And then before you know it, you're exercising for 20 minutes, doing some light cardio. And then you're having pizza for dinner.
Yeah.
And then you're doing that 5 days a week, and that, you're going to wreck yourself.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of the ways to stave off sabotage, they're the same things that we talked about in our other episode about motivation. Keeping that systems approach.
Yes.
Having an external anchor to keep you aligned with your goal.
And that external anchor and the systems approach, it doesn't allow for you to have an issue with it way deep down. Like you can have a self-worth issue.
It's an objective.
You can have a self-worth, issue or body image issue or whatever. But if you have that external anchor and that systems approach, it's like, it doesn't matter if you feel this way or that way. This is what you're doing. You're meeting your lifting buddy or fitness buddy or accountability partner or coach or whatever. And if you don't, there's going to be a sting.
Yeah.
And if you keep that systems approach, there's not much you can't do.
Yeah.
And the sabotage doesn't become really an issue. Yeah. And if you have a good trainer, they'll call you on it. They'll say, "Hey, what's going on? Why are you wasting your time and my time?"
Ooh,
and they might be a little harsh about it. And I've had to do that, not a lot, but yeah, I tend to go easy.
Well, I feel like some people, you have to be harsh with them because they don't really know how to push themselves, and maybe that's another form of sabotage. Is we've talked about that line where people are really working hard or just putting out a little bit of effort.
Yeah.
And people get to that line and then they back off from it because
it's work.
It's not comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, and so they go to that line, they meet that line all the time, and if they never push themselves beyond it, you're essentially saying no thanks to the results, and
it's going about it kind of half.
And you need that external.
Yeah, and it's not like you can
to be mean and say, listen, okay, I get you're uncomfortable, I get that. You know, maybe they just haven't felt that kind of pain before of working hard. And so they need that guidance. Otherwise, if they're just relying on their own feelings and what they think they can do, I mean, that's enough to ruin your progress and sabotage. You know?
Absolutely. Well, that and putting in 50% of the work isn't going to get you 50% of the results. Doing 50% of the work and just doing the training and not the nutrition, or, you know, just a little bit of training and just a little bit of nutrition, but not really putting it all together, isn't going to get you 50% of the results either. It's going to get you nowhere really quick.
Yeah.
Or maybe just 10% of the results that you could have.
It'll essentially just eat up time, and you don't want to waste that.
Yeah,
because
time and effort and focus and energy.
Yeah, that's a commodity we do not have enough of. So, if you're going to train, give yourself to it.
Yeah, even if it's 20 minutes a day.
Yeah.
That's more than enough if you're starting out. And oftentimes, it's more than enough depending on your goals and what you're doing.
And give it all you got.
How long do you and I work out in the mornings?
30, 45 minutes.
Tops,
yeah. Yup.
So...
Why did you ask?
I want people to know.
Oh. What else do you do throughout the day, activity-wise? Or is it pretty much just the weights? Right now, it's just the weights. I'm... you mentioned today that you want to put more cardio in.
Hell yeah. I love cardio. I don't look like it. I look like a powerlifter right now. And I pretty much am a powerlifter right now, judging by my activities, because I just lift, and I just lift heavy. And I love that. And if I had to pick one thing for the rest of my life physically, it would be lifting heavy.
But you want to be fit all around.
I want to be fit. I want to have a low body fat percentage while still retaining a lot of strength and quality muscle.
Yeah.
And flexibility, range of motion, speed, agility, all those things. I want it all.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely not satisfied with where I'm at. So yeah, I want more cardio. That's the next step. And so with working a full-time job and having this facility that you and I run and a family and all this other kind of stuff, time is my most precious resource, especially time with my family. And so adding in cardio is tough, but actually my wife and I are creating a plan to add in cardio because it's going to affect family and everything that I do.
And I think it's such a good example for little Donnie to grow up in a family that focuses on health.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's cool because we live right next to a park, and so we can literally walk out our front door, take less than 20 steps, and we're in a park.
That's
which
cool.
has a great big old trail around the whole thing. And yeah, that's going to be part of our plan.
You're set up for it.
Yeah. We're cool. Set up for success, which is really, really exciting.
Yeah.
So yeah, looking forward to adding in cardio and making some positive changes on my behalf too, because it doesn't stop when you become a personal trainer.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, you always got to stay sharp.
What are you doing besides your Kajikembo and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and kids classes and home life and a full-time job?
Well, you know, we lift in the morning. Like you, I don't have time for like a straight up cardio thing.
Sesh.
So I find I think this is an important point to make. Like with what you said, you live next to a park. You're working to get that cardio in there with what you have available to you.
Yes.
And so for me, what that looks like is I work not that far from where I live, so I'm always riding my bike or walking to work. And so that's kind of where I get my cardio in, because I don't have time to just go out for a 30-minute run right now. Yeah. As much as I would like to. It's just not possible right now. So it's finding little times like that. I do yoga when I can, and that's good. The rest is all the martial arts stuff. So
yeah. Are you using any technology lately to help your fitness journey or martial arts journey?
I'm glad you asked. Yes, I am using an app that's getting me walking, or rather, I'm using it while I'm already walking.
Uh-huh.
Any guesses what that app might be?
Is it no, Candy Crush?
Nope.
Is it Boom Beach, Clash Royale?
Nope.
Anything by them? No Supercell? One more guess?
One more guess. You got
Mobile Strike.
No, with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
No, come on, man. You know.
Is it Pokemon Go?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah. Pokemon Go.
Pokemon, get it.
Get it.
So I hear
Gotta catch them all.
I hear that businesses are having a spike in sales and traffic because people are out and about walking around.
That's exactly right. And you know what?
I think we have a bunch of Pokemon here.
I already got them.
You did?
Yeah.
Were there really Pokemon here?
Actually, we're kind of in a barren area.
We are?
Yeah. There's a block down, a bar nearby called Duffy's that there's a hot spot there.
Nice. You look so excited.
Well,
you're like, are we done? Can we go?
I think it's ironic that a bar is where a kid's game, like the game will lead a kid to a bar.
Drink up.
Yeah. Start them young. But so I think it's fantastic because it's getting people. I have close friends that they're taking more walks as families because the kids are excited about doing this. And, as long as people are still paying attention to where they're walking, and there's somebody there to watch the surroundings, because I don't, from a self-defense standpoint, this is a nightmare.
Yeah.
Because you're doing exactly what we tell you not to do. You're
focusing
even more glued to your phone.
Yeah.
But if you go out as a group or as a family or something like that, I think it could be an excellent thing.
I hope in 6 months from now, there's going to be like a wedding, and they're going to be like, how'd you guys meet? It's like, we're playing Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go. Well, I just saw an article that there are dozens and dozens of people just in Oregon that are hanging out now because of Pokemon Go that they never knew each other before.
Cray cray.
It's totes cray. But I think it's an exciting thing, and if you want something a little more cerebral and adult, I would recommend another game by the same company. The game is called Ingress, and it's fantastic. It's kind of the same concept, gets you to walk around, but it's more about an invasion of. It's kind of like V, if you've ever watched V. You know, the alien show.
No. Isn't there one that's a zombie one where it's like zombies are running at you and you have to run away, or zombie chase? I don't know, something. There's something where you have to run.
Good.
No?
No, it's not as good.
Not as good as Pokemon Go?
Not as good as Pokemon Go or Ingress.
So,
but yeah, so it's getting people to walk, and as long as people are being safe about it, I think it's fantastic. And still looking when you cross the street, all that kind of stuff. But anyway, so thanks a lot for listening, guys. We will hit you up next week. And if you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to get us at modernairfitnesspodcast@gmail.com, or you can reach us on social media
at MEF Podcast
for Twitter and Instagram.
Thanks again for listening, guys. We really appreciate spending time with you and talking with you. So remember, live in a good place, keep your mind deep, and work when it's time.
Peace.
See ya. Just pretend I don't have a beard. We'll grind later.